Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome once again into the gymnasium at Milford High School as Milford TV is happy to bring you coverage of Scarlet Hawks athletics. Tonight, the boys basketball team returns home for this Friday night rivalry night, taking on a Davenport Division opponent in the Sharon Eagles. Milford enters into the matchup overall on the season at 4-4. They are 3-4 within league play. And Sharon, on the other hand, a very rocky start to this season. They currently sit in the basement in the Davenport standings at 1-9 overall, and they have yet to record a victory in Hockomock League competition. For this Milford team, it's been quite a bit of time since we last had an opportunity to see them on their home floor. The last time we covered this Scarlet Hawks boys basketball team was exactly a month ago tonight in what turned out to be a thrilling overtime come-from-behind victory for Milford against Taunton. They've been doing the bulk of their work on the road since then, with the exception of their exclusion game against Bishop Stang, which turned out to be a loss back during the month of December, a 60-48 loss. They also ended up playing as part of a boys and girls doubleheader here at home back on January 5th. That was a victory for the Scarlet Hawks, but overall it's been a bit of an uneven start to the season as we already start to approach the midway point in the year. The Scarlet Hawks have only managed to string consecutive victories together once on the year. That was back over a span from December 17th to the 19th with victories over Hopedale and Taunton. Other than that, it's been a little bit up and down for the Scarlet Hawks through the early part of this season, so they will look to get more consistency into their game as we now reach a crucial stretch in this middle part of the regular season. Sharon, on the other hand, as we mentioned, it's been big-time struggles for the Eagles. They did lose Ricardo Ripley, who was their talented starting point guard, a four-year starter for their team, graduating this past spring. Thought to have the pieces to be able to fill that void. Offensively, the team has managed to do okay overall on the season, averaging 54.6 points per game, but it is on the defensive side of the floor where Sharon has really struggled. Coming into the game tonight, they averaged 64.9 points allowed per game. That is second worst in the Hockomock League, second only to the Stoughton Black Knights, who have allowed nearly 68 points per game. And that is a full 10 points higher per game than the Milford defense has been allowing so far this season. So despite the fact that Sharon's been able to put up some decent point totals on the year, right now averaging on a nightly basis, allowing 10 more points than they've scored, that is certainly not a recipe for success. The only victory on the season for Sharon came back on January 2nd. That was a 57-40 non-conference victory over Norwood High School. They've suffered losing streaks of 5 games, and now currently they are in a 4-game losing streak with losses to Foxborough, North Attleboro, Canton, and Stoughton in their last 4 games. So Sharon really struggling, but Milford still has to take this opponent seriously as they do have some very difficult players to guard on the offensive side of the floor. And first and foremost is their senior captain, Malik Lorquette, who has been a matchup nightmare for Milford in seasons past. We've seen him in some interesting battles down low with Caden Kelly in recent seasons, so that will be a matchup to watch as the night goes on as well. You also have to watch out for Jimmy Fitzhenry, who is a talented scorer on the offensive side for Sharon, the senior guard, listed at 6'1". There is some good length on this Sharon team to be aware of, so again, this is certainly not an opponent for Milford to take for granted, especially at a point in the season where Milford is looking to try to make a move up the standings. They are technically 4-4 overall, with, of course, that exclusion game to Bishop Stang not counting towards their overall record, but they do have 5 losses when you factor that one in. So this team looking to get into a groove for really the first time this season as they come in currently in 3rd place in the Davenport standings, but it's a bit of a gap between Milford and the 2 teams atop the standings. Canton, who comes into tonight's action at 8-1 overall on the year, and then it is the Foxborough Warriors who come in with an overall record of 9-2. Milford suffering losses to both of those teams earlier on in the season. And of course, the big plot line that developed for Milford since the last time we had a chance to cover this team was the injury to Shane Cosquette, the talented point guard and senior captain for this team, suffering a wrist injury, will likely miss the rest of the season. So that has been a void out there on the floor that Milford has been looking to fill, still trying to settle down, find a new identity. It's really now that results in 4 of the 5 starters that were on this varsity team from last season now being out of the mix by either graduation or now the injury to Cosquette. So it's been a bit of a learn as you go experience for this Milford team through the early stretch of the season, trying to start to gel as a new unit with so many new pieces on this team, but they have, again, started to show some positive signs recently. Andrew Frioli has been much more of a factor on the offensive side of the floor, scoring 21 total points in his last 3 games. He's also been a very good rebounder for this team. Caden Kelly, of course, putting up good offensive numbers, and really the story of the early part of the season has been the progression, the rapid progression of junior captain Brendan White, who has turned into the top scorer on this team and one of the best scorers in the Hockomock League. So a lot of good players out on the floor on both of these teams tonight. And the first time this season that Milford has had a chance to play a home game on a Friday night, as again, we're already almost midway through the season. So it really should be an entertaining ball game tonight as the Milford High School Scarlet Hawks take on the visiting Sharon Eagles. We will have the starting fives and the opening tip of this contest when we come back next. So stay tuned to coverage of Milford High School athletics right here on Milford TV. A fired-up Milford gymnasium. These fans excited to finally see the boys team here on the home floor on a Friday night this season as Milford and Sharon get set to tangle. Tim Coet and Neelan Reisman bringing you the coverage of Scarlet Hawks athletics tonight. And Neelan, welcome into the broadcast again. An exciting one here getting set to get underway between Milford and Sharon.
A pleasure to be here, Tim.
So quickly, we'll bring you our starting fives for tonight's game. First for the visiting Sharon Eagles, it is number 0, Javon Montero, number 4, Aiden Kane, number 25, Aaron Strong, number 21, Malik Lorquette, and number 33, Dimitri Moussis. And for the Scarlet Hawks, a different looking starting five than when last we saw them. It is Brendan White, Andrew Frioli, Caden Kelly, Colby Pyers, and Brendan Saylor, the starting five for the Scarlet Hawks. So Saylor and Pyers, new additions to this starting five from what we saw earlier on in the season, but of course a lot of shuffling of personnel from earlier on due to the injury to Shane Cosquet. So these teams lined up at center court, ready to get this one started. Caden Kelly lined up against Malik Lorquette. And it is the Eagles who control the opening tip, and immediately Milford nearly creates the turnover as now Sharon gets settled into their offense underway for this Friday night rivalry competition here on Milford TV. Montero dishes it back outside as the gym already is in full throat.
It's going to be loud and proud all night, Tim.
The student section for Milford has been fantastic for these basketball games the last couple of years, and showing it once again as time runs out, and Montero has to hoist up a long three. It looked like Sharon maybe let the noise in the gym get to them on that opening possession, Neelan.
Milford giving a lot of good pressure, unable to get the shot off, gives an easy turnover and a quick possession change.
Sharon immediately challenges in the backcourt, but a good quick pass ahead to Colby Pyers, able to get Milford into the front court. Now back to Saylor, who sets up the play. He briefly loses the dribble, recovers, feeds it into Kelly down low. Kelly with defenders draped all around him, gets the shot and the foul.
Way to use the size advantage. Easy way to get into the post, good pass. Way to turn around, take it in for the body. Gets triple team, takes the contact, and here he is at the line.
That combination down low of Kelly and Frioli, as we talked about in the open, has really been paying dividends, both offensively and certainly rebounding-wise. For these last couple of games, Kelly can't convert the rebound. Milford with the early 2-0 advantage.
And don't forget about Everett and White, very tall, lengthy guys, able to play post as well, but they have a shot, it helps.
The size was certainly a big storyline heading into this season. Milford with much more size than they've had at their disposal in recent seasons. Off-balance shot for Sharon off the backboard, but does not go through. Milford scoops up the defensive board. Now here's White briefly handling. Pyers the no-look pass into the corner for Frioli. Now it gets back into the hands of White. Frioli thinking about taking the shot. Instead, from three-point range, count it, for Brendan Saylor.
And a quick turnover. I don't think he had an intended person to throw it to.
So Milford getting the basketball right back as they are bringing a lot of intensity here in these opening minutes. Still 6:27 to go in the opening quarter. Milford on an early 5-0 run. Here's Brendan White, a nice play drawn up off the inbounds pass, and White converts.
And if they're going to want to extend their winning streak to 2, they're going to have to play like this for all 32 minutes.
Up to a 7-0 run as Frioli contends the shot, and they will call for the jump ball And the possession arrow going Milford's way, and right now just about everything going Milford's way. And the head coach for Andrew Ferguson, not liking what he's seen early, goes heavy to his bench, bringing in 4 second-unit players here with still 6:13 to go. Wholesale changes for Sharon. Now it's Pyers in some trouble, but again is able to get the pass back out to Saylor running the point. Saylor runs into a wall, feeds the pass into Fraioli. Now a laser pass to Brendan White. White with another layup. 4 quick points in the first quarter for White, and a 9-0 run to open for the Scarlet Hawks.
Milford continuing the pressure, trying to cause quick turnovers, and it's working so far.
Wide open look from 3-point range, and Leicester High able to momentarily quiet this Milford crowd, left open beyond the arc, and is able to drain the 3. And we have an early timeout called here with 5 minutes and 41 seconds to go, an early 9-3 lead for Milford. And as we've talked about already, Neil, and plenty of intensity out there on the floor for the Scarlet Hawks.
Yeah, it's going to be an intense game. I think that if Milford controls the tempo and takes advantage of the size, then they're going to be able to pull away early. It's more of consistency. If Milford can keep this up throughout all 4 quarters, we obviously know that Sharon being the second lowest opponent's point per game, around 64, Milford could take advantage of that. And I think that's going to really help them out.
It certainly has the potential to be a problem. Again, you look at the offenses, these two teams coming into this game have been pretty even. 53.9 points per game average for Milford's offense, Sharon 54.6. But it really is those defensive numbers that are lopsided in Milford's favor. The Milford defense allowing about 54 points per game versus Sharon's 64.9 points per game. And we've seen some leaky defense already early on here for Sharon.
Defense wins games, Tim. Defense wins games.
Absolutely correct on that one, Nealon. So now both teams coming out of the timeout, a 9-3 lead for Milford as Caden Kelly will send the ball into Saylor. And back to action. They feed the pass ahead to Colby Pyers. Pyers continuing to get trapped quickly in the corner. Every time he's seen the basketball, Saylor now swamped by a few defenders. Pyers left open. Mishandling the ball initially, was able to get the shot away, no good. Milford controls the rebound, and Saylor this time a little too short on the 3-point attempt. Milford briefly losing control of the basketball, getting it back, another chance for White, and it rims out. Couple of opportunities courtesy of offensive rebounds, but Milford
staying strongly physical on defense, trying to apply as much pressure as they can to commit turnovers.
Another long 3 attempt for Sharon, this time off the front of the rim, and Caden Kelly, after some juggling back and forth, able to secure the rebound. It was Jimmy Fitzhenry with the 3-point attempt that time for the Eagles. Now Saylor thinking about hoisting up another 3, trying to get his shot going continuously from outside. He's knocked down 1 3 so far here in the first quarter. It's Fraioli now, quick pass right on the money to Caden Kelly. And a couple of chances for Kelly, and third time is the charm, as Caden now is up to 4 points here in the first.
Way to stick with it, able to grab the offensive rebounds. Sharon, again, not having the size to get through it. Big men standing out on the perimeter, and Caden takes advantage of that and gets 3 times.
And some trouble in the corner. Sharon sends it outside. Deep 3 from Leicester High. Couldn't knock it down this time, but the rebound pulled in by Jacob Levinson. Big target coming in off the bench. Now Cutter to the basket, and the foul is called. Alex Kaufman trying to work his way inside, and he takes contact.
I think they're going to give that foul to Whitey. Brendan White picks up his first foul of the game.
Kaufman no good on the first free throw attempt. The only point so far on the night for Sharon, courtesy of the 3-ball from Leicester High. And now Kaufman able to knock down the second free throw to make it an 11-4 score. 3:52 to play in the first as Brendan Saylor gets double teamed. And sensing the danger, Coach Seaver calls the timeout. So we will take the timeout as well with 3 minutes and 48 seconds remaining in the first quarter. It is Milford 11 and Sharon 4. Back to action in just a moment here on Milford TV. Returning to action out of the timeout, 11-4, Milford with the lead. Milford to inbound the basketball.
So far, so good.
To the corner for White, now trying to find a pass partner, sends it all the way across the length of the floor to Colby Pyers, who nails the three.
Pierce getting his first start, and obviously if he's going to be on the floor to start the game, he's going to have to show something, and right there he connects with the deep three.
According to the stats we received from Coach Seaver before the game, this is Colby's second straight start. Got the nod in the starting lineup against North Attleboro, and now getting the start here tonight against Sharon as well, so showing some confidence in the sophomore.
He's proven why he's getting on the floor.
Of course, a standout on the football field as he split time with Ryan Pearl as the quarterback of the football team this past fall, so now a starter for basketball as well, a very talented athlete here at Milford High School. And meanwhile, a rare three ball tossed up from Caden Kelly on that last possession, was unable to convert, but now is able to get the offensive foul called on the other side of the floor, taking the charge. .252 to go in the first quarter. Saylor again pinned down, but Milford with some quick, accurate passes, and it leads to an easy layup for Caden Kelly.
Continuing the high pressure through the first quarter. It's just been non-stop press.
The lead is up to 12 now for Milford as Saylor sticks the hand out, did not even see the ball coming his way, but managed to deflect it out of play. It will stay Sharon basketball with just 5 ticks gone on the shot clock. Sharon struggling to keep up with Milford's intensity in this first quarter. Now the pull-up jumper from the free throw line, no good. Rebound up for grabs. Sharon able to pull it down. Here's Lorquette, and he's able to get the second chance effort. Good job by Sharon that time to stick with the play.
Lorquette with his first points of the game.
Here's Saylor aggressively going inside. Now flips a pass back outside to the junior captain, White. Saylor lets go a little touch shot. Couldn't get it to fall, and the whistle stopping the clock now with 1:56 to go. They weave the pass into Lorquette through traffic before he dishes it off to Kaufman. Kaufman takes it inside, now loops it back out to Lester High. Sharon taking their time. Fitzhenry back to High. 10 seconds now left on the shot clock. No look pass to the corner. And the shot offline from Jacob Levinson. But Sharon able to collect the rebound. And a fresh shot clock now. Here's Kaufman under the basket, and Kaufman able to get the layup, I should say.
Taking advantage of the offensive rebound right there.
Now Caden Kelly through a double team, count it.
Caden Kelly is a strong inside player, and if you're not going to be able to keep your hands up and avoid the fouls, then he's going to do that every time. Second and one of the night.
Eight points through this first quarter for the senior captain, Caden Kelly. Missed a free throw earlier in the period. Was able to knock this one through. And the lead back up into double digits for the Scarlet Hawks at 19-8. Coming down to the final minute of the first quarter. Here's Lorquette now muscling up against Kelly. Let's go, a wild shot, no good. Gets his own rebound and now feeds it back outside. Passes around the perimeter, set it up for Lester High, whose shot is not close. And now Milford controls, up ahead to Zach Tomorrow into the game.
Under a minute to go. See if Milford can put up 20 points in the quarter.
Tomorrow and also Steve Sutherland checking into this game late. Sutherland now takes the bounce pass, sends it back out to Tomorrow. They get the good look for Brendan Saylor, but the shot just short. Now the ball loose under the basket. Sutherland can't land it, but he will head to the line.
I definitely think for one of the key matchups tonight, it's going to be Malik Lorquette versus Caden Kelly. Malik's starting off a little slow, but fifth leading scorer in the Hockomock, averaging about 18 points per game. I wouldn't be surprised if he kicks it in, but Caden showing defense and offense.
Malik Lorquette having to shoulder a lot of the load offensively for this team in the absence of Ricardo Ripley, who was such a dynamic scorer for this team over the last several seasons. But Lorquette has certainly held up his end of the bargain. As Nealon mentioned, one of the top scorers in the Hockomock League so far this year, as Sutherland drains both free throws.
And you got to tip your hat off to Lorquette, especially for Sharon, able to come night in and night out, putting up consistent points.
And now here's Saylor. Saylor puts it in for 2 more, and Milford up to 23 points. And now the whistle under the basket. Looks like they'll call for the jump ball.
Milford being relentless, just showing no mercy so far, holding Sharon under double digits.
A 15-point lead with the final 15 seconds about to tick down. Caden Kelly looked like he just took an elbow to the face. No whistle. The head snapped back as Sharon is able to get the bucket. Now here's Brendan White with time running low. His shot offline. And just tossing it away as Sharon as time expires. And so a wild, entertaining opening period of play, but the Scarlet Hawks able to establish a 23-10 lead early. And so again, a lot of things going well for the Scarlet Hawks through that opening 8 minutes, Nealon.
Yeah, I definitely think so. They've really relied on Caden Kelly. Even Steve coming in early or late in the quarter, able to get a basket, go to the free throw line. I think that it's starting to show that the size is starting to become a disadvantage for Sharon, not able to take advantage. A lot of offensive rebounds, a lot of second chances for Milford.
So we'll see what the coaches have to say to each of these teams in between periods. We'll pause ever so briefly, and we'll have the start of the second quarter for you next here on Milford TV. Welcome back to coverage of Scarlet Hawks athletics here on Milford TV. Tim Coette and Nealon Reisman on the call for this boys basketball matchup between Milford and Sharon. A 23-10 lead for the Scarlet Hawks as they have been on fire out of the gates here. Caden Kelly able to track down the ball after he lost the handle. Gets it back to Saylor. Saylor showing good athleticism. Now out to Sutherland for 3, and he gets it.
And that's one of the big positives for this year's big men. They're able to shoot. You got a couple outside shooters. Frioli's got a deep range. Everett can shoot. And right there, that just proves that Sutherland can even step out of the line.
Steve Sutherland was very impressive the last time we covered this team. Coming in off the bench when Milford was really struggling in the second half against the Taunton Tigers, was really a driving force in Milford getting back in that game. Was a leading scorer until late in the fourth quarter when Brendan White went on a big surge. But he has played some valuable minutes so far on the season.
And this is one of the good things that I like about Milford is their bench depth. They got 5 guys to start. They can play very good, but if they get tired, you're able to put in 3 guys that can consistently do the same thing that the starters are doing.
Milford going bench heavy right now with Sutherland out there along with Zach Tomorrow and also Joey DeMarco now in the game for the first time. A couple of senior captains coming in off the bench in DeMarco and Tomorrow. There's Lorquette. And he quickly gets fouled.
Zach Tomorrow trying to play a little bit tap back. Hits more of a hand than ball and gets a reach foul right there.
Into the hands of Aaron Strong. Strong and Montero go back and forth as DeMarco is in close in defense. Forces Montero to get uncomfortable there at midcourt. He was able to survive. And now the look underneath the basket is rejected. Second chance is no good for Tarlin.
What a beautiful offensive rebound by Lorquette right there. Able to finish strong on the right hand and gets an and one.
So despite the good defense for Milford, Lorquette just a little bit better, keeping the possession alive, eventually getting the points, and now the chance for the three-point play.
Frioli coming in for tomorrow. Actually, my mistake, Sutherland.
Sutherland more good work while he was out there. Lorquette short on the free throw attempt. And it looks like Javon Montero maybe losing his cool a little bit out there. He'll take a seat on the bench.
I think the relentless pressure by Milford's getting in their heads.
Here's Saylor. He'll take it to the basket, gets a nice bank off the glass. Saylor with 7 points now in this half as Lorquette, traveling up that far side, takes contact. 6:23 to go in the half.
Milford pushing it to 16 points.
Sharon getting it to Lorquette now outside with the shot clock winding down. No good on the look from three-point range. Milford eventually able to tip it ahead to DeMarco. He tries to go coast to coast but cannot finish. Lorquette grabs the rebound and he gets fouled.
Beautiful defense, way to stick with DeMarco. Able to make him lose control going up for it. And it gives Sharon the ball back.
And this will bring Brendan White back out onto the floor after getting a rest. Tomorrow to the bench.
Still no signs of that press slowing down for Milford so far. And I wouldn't stop it if I were them either. It's working fantastically. Almost halfway through the second quarter, only 2 points allowed.
Lester High dribbling the perimeter, looking for options. Tries to get it to Fitzhenry, but it's picked off by White. He takes it the other way and gets the easy, uncontested lay-in. Six points in the half for White as Sharon looks to respond with the three. Wild shot and a quick trip up the floor with no returns for the Eagles. 30-12, Milford leads it as we tick down to 5 minutes to play in the half. Here's Kelly, he takes it all the way to the rack.
That was a beautiful elbow screen, getting Caden open for that easy 2 points.
A long outlet pass finds Fitzhenry, but Fraioli there to reject the shot, collects the ball and brings it ahead now to White. Here's White, and the foul is called.
Joey Everett getting ready to step into the game along with Cam Falcon.
So Coach Seaver has worked a lot of personnel into the game here in this first half, and everyone who's gone out there, Nealon, has really been productive.
Yeah, that is definitely one of the big things, and especially from past games. Cam Falcon, last time we covered here, huge game against Taunton. And if they can keep it up with their bench as Brendan hits that free throw, then I don't think Sharon has a chance of coming back.
Student section, as you would expect, has not sat yet in this game. They've had plenty of reasons to cheer.
It's kind of exciting. Different little setups, sitting more towards the fans.
Yeah, Nealon right in the midst of the jungle tonight. We've had to jerry-rig the setup a bit due to some technical difficulties here at the school, but rolling with it as always.
Kind of like the setup, can feel more of the intensity coming from the crowd.
Here's High. Bank shot no good. Fraioli with another rebound, and now ahead to Cam Falcon. Falcon knocked down a tremendous three-point shot in overtime against Taunton back on December 19th that was critical in that come-from-behind victory. Falcon really seems to be a fan favorite of the Scarlet Hawks team as well. He'll get a chance from three-point range here, and there it is again. And the cheers roar from the student section as Cam Falcon gets on the score sheet with three. 37-12.
It's been a 14-2 run as we reached the past half of the second quarter. And Sharon able to put up their second basket of the game, their second quarter.
Dimitri Moussis able to stop the swing of momentum, at least temporarily. White loops it to Falcon. Falcon will release again. This one rims out, and can't quite control his own rebound as Falcon goes flying out of play, but Sharon cannot control either. I'll say that did go off of Milford and out.
Colby Perez checking in, Joe DeMarco coming out.
So Falcon, Pyers, Everett, White, and Fraioli, the 5 on the floor right now for the Scarlet Hawks. Into the corner now, the release from High, and that gets a great bounce off the rim, off the backboard, and in.
Chipping the lead down to 20.
And now Everett looking to respond, a little too strong as he takes his first shot of the half. Now an awkward feed ahead for Sharon, could not be handled.
Tim, if you're thinking in the mind of Sharon, you're down by 20. You got a whole another half to play. Nothing's really over, but what do you think could get him back into the game?
Gonna have to try to find a way to make some stops. That's really where it's going to, the comeback is going to begin for Sharon. They can't keep trying to trade buckets with Milford or they're never going to overcome this deficit as Fraioli puts in another.
Definitely limiting turnovers is another big thing. Milford taking countless opportunities scoring off of turnovers, and it's really paid off.
Score now 39-17 with 2:35 to play. And a friendly roll around the rim for Brendan White. And this will force the timeout. 2 minutes and 28 seconds to go in the half. It is up to a 41-17 lead. It's been a fun one so far for the Milford offense, and more to come when we return next here on Milford TV. It has been an incredible offensive half for Milford so far, and just to put it in perspective, again, we talked about these numbers at the top of the game. Milford averaging 53.9 points per game, and Nealon, they're already up to 41, and we're not even to halftime yet.
This is exciting. I'm kind of more excited to see how many points they can put up on the board.
They did score 79 in a win against Hopedale earlier this year. That is their high water mark.
So they definitely have the opportunity to score. We know they can score. And Sharon being a little bit weak on the defensive side, you can see it so far as Milford leads by 24.
Three-point attempt hoisted up for Sharon. It's no good. And a rebound attempt also unsuccessful for Jacob Levinson. And now here's Falcon. He'll release quickly on the three. And his shot no good, but Colby Pyers able to get a hand in there, briefly saving it for Milford. Now he's able to get it back. His shot is rejected by Levinson, who will move it ahead. Sharon, again, will let it fly from three-point range. No good for Alec Filipkowski. And now here's Brendan White. No-look pass outside to Falcon. They'll just keep letting them go from three-point range for Falcon. Doesn't connect, but Andrew Fraioli with the bucket. Fraioli with a couple of shots here in the second quarter, and now down to a minute 15 to play. Sharon right now trying to work their way back into this game with nothing but threes, and it is not working out. Here's White, a laser pass into Fraioli, and it's back-to-back buckets for Andrew Fraioli, the senior.
Pushing that lead out to 28, minute left to go.
And Sharon has no choice but to call the timeout with exactly 60 seconds to play and a 45-17 lead. And really just a demoralized look to this Sharon team on the other side of the floor, Nealon.
Yeah, I definitely think that they haven't really figured it out. The press has definitely gotten into Sharon's head. Constant turnovers off of inbounds. They're struggling to find shots, and it's looking like they're just trying to hook up a bunch of threes, not really trying to work their way inside. Fraioli and Caden showing post defense that has worked perfectly. I wouldn't give up on Sharon right yet. Got another half, going into the locker room, try to figure things out, try to give up a new game plan. But Milford adjustments. I think that it's going to be just a game of adjustments in the second half, and if Milford can keep doing what they're doing, then it's going to be a high-scoring game to a low-scoring team.
It's a 28-point lead as we are about to see the final minute of this first half tick down. Milford comes back out of the timeout with Caden Kelly, Steve Sutherland, Joey Everett, and then also Danny Corsini and Chappelle Feaster. So Coach Seaver has had an opportunity to cycle through the majority of his bench through this first half, and now Feaster and Corsini having an opportunity to see the floor as well.
And if it keeps going the way it's going, Seaver's going to have the opportunity to play everyone equally.
Off the Sharon miss, Feaster up the floor, feeds it to Corsini. High arcing three is good. Corsini gets on the score sheet as Milford just cannot miss.
Pushing that lead to 30.
Good cut to the basket for Alex Kaufman. He answers. 22 seconds to go. The shot clock turned off. Milford slows the tempo. Around to Corsini, who loops it back out to Sutherland. Now it's Everett. And Corsini now cutting inside, weaving, and a shot off the backboard does not land, but the foul is called. And Corsini will step to the line, quickly getting a three entering into the game, and now a chance for more from the free throw line.
Entering in that last minute, and he has a chance to put 5 in the stat sheet in his first shot right there.
Just 6 seconds will be left on the clock after this next free throw from Corsini. A make and a miss, but Sutherland able to track down the rebound. Here's the shot for Corsini off the side of the rim. 1 second to go, and Sharon sends it off the ceiling as time expires, and a half of basketball that Sharon would like to very quickly put behind them, but Milford, a very different story. 49 points over the first 2 quarters of this game, a 49-19 lead. Absolutely everything going Milford's way, a very festive atmosphere here in the Milford gym. We will step aside for halftime, and we look forward to bringing you second half action in just a few moments, so stay with us here on our coverage of Scarlet Hawks Athletics on Milford TV. Once again, we welcome you inside the Milford gym. Time to get this second half started between the Milford Scarlet Hawks and the Sharon Eagles. It has been a fun night if you are a fan of the Scarlet Hawks. As you see on the scoreboard in the lower left-hand corner of your screen, a 30-point advantage for the Scarlet Hawks coming into the third quarter, 49-19. As Tim Coet and Neelan Reisman bring you the coverage of this Friday night boys basketball matchup. Your scoring leader overall in this game is Caden Kelly with 11 points. Brendan White also in double figures with 10. And as Neelan, you pointed out just before halftime, 8 different players seeing the score sheet in the first half for Milford. It has been not only a potent offensive attack, but it has been a diverse attack up and down this roster.
Well, I gotta say that if you're getting a variety of scorers on the team, then you're definitely doing something right. And the fact that they have 8 scorers, they got twice as many scorers as Sharon does, opening up on a 26-9 run to start the second quarter. And if they continue to do what they're doing, it's just going to be no mercy, nonstop.
We'll see if Sharon was able to regroup at the half. 2 very different halftime discussions. And early on, the blocked shot for Milford, and they head right back up the floor with their original starting 5 back out there. An early miss for Milford, and now a quick pass ahead finds Jimmy Fitzhenry. He pulls up for the shot and gets it to fall, and that's Fitzhenry's first points in the game. Alex Kaufman, the leading scorer for Sharon through the first half with 7 points.
I like Kaufman. He's a little shifty guard. He's got good ball control, can get around defenders easily. I definitely think he's one of the more underrated players on Sharon.
Lorquette moves the ball ahead now, gets it to Fitzhenry. He releases the 3, and a no-doubter out of the hand of Fitzhenry, who's going on a personal 5-0 run to open up this third quarter, and all of a sudden the timeout is called. So Sharon needing to do something to sort of change the momentum in this game. It's some small steps here, but 5 quick points out of Fitzhenry can't hurt, Neelan.
Yeah, and if you could just chip away slowly, you could get yourself back into the game. It's 25 points right now, but maybe you set goals for yourself, small things. Maybe you want it at 20 by the 4-minute mark, 15 at the start of the fourth quarter. Work your way down. Don't try to take big leaps, because if you try to exceed your amount, you might end up tiring yourself and digging yourself into a bigger hole.
So Milford quickly returns to the court.
Seaver giving them some words, 5-0 start to start.
Right back out there with White, Pyers, Fraioli, Saylor, and Kelly. As Sharon concludes their conversation. Saylor now guarded by Leicester High as he finds the bounce pass right on target to Brendan White. And that breaks up the early run for the Eagles as Brendan White is up now to 12 points. Dangerous pass pulled down by High. High to Kaufman. Kaufman the start and stop, now dishes it back out to Fitzhenry, trying to ride the hot hand. Fitzhenry a miss this time. And now back ahead for Saylor. White and Saylor back and forth. Caden Kelly calling for the ball. Instead the shot put up, no good. Whistle stopping the clock at 6:34.
Giving out an offensive foul. Sharon able to retain.
Fitzhenry into Kaufman. They try to trap Kaufman. He's able to get the pass ahead. Now 3-on-3 the other way. Leicester High. And already much better looking offensive performance so far for the Eagles.
Matt Nickerson's going to check in for Saylor. Joey DeMarco comes in as well.
Here's DeMarco. Gets an early look. Not enough elevation. Here's Lorquette. Steamrolling up the floor. DeMarco able to pick his pocket, but can't save it from going out of play.
Sneaky play by DeMarco. Good idea not to give it up. Almost able to hold on to it. Still stops the momentum of Sharon getting down the court.
So that was a long two for Leicester High on that last bucket for the Eagles as Lorquette gets double teamed. The pass back out, and now all the way over to the scorer's table. Matt Nickerson now into the game, as Nealon indicated a moment ago, finds Brendan White cutting to the basket.
White using the backdoor cut very effectively. Saylor was able to give him a nice bounce pass for a layup. And again, if his defender isn't going to step up towards that, he's going to have that all day.
Passing has just been so crisp for Milford all night long so far.
And on the opposite end of the floor, Sharon, a lot of turnovers.
Fitzhenry hoping that one would bank home. No such luck. Here's White. And White with a pass too hot for Joey DeMarco to handle. That one ends up in the cheerleaders.
Zach Tomorrow checking in for Andrew Frioli.
Everyone staying fresh on the Milford side.
Seaver doing a good job rotating his players.
There's Aaron Strong finding Lorquette in the corner. Lorquette's been very quiet so far tonight.
Caden Kelly has definitely taken the advantage of this matchup. Nickerson takes that away.
Now tries to rush the pass a bit to DeMarco. He couldn't get the handle, and it ends up out of play. Good active hands for Nickerson, creating another Milford turnover, but just could not find DeMarco with a clean pass.
Milford coming back into full court press, causing a lot of havoc in the first half.
There's Fitzhenry, couldn't shake a defender loose. Now Strong driving baseline, and Sharon will shoot free throws here.
Able to get past Tomorrow, easy gate to baseline.
I believe they called the foul on Caden Kelly. Aaron Strong shoots free throws. That's his first point of the contest.
Milford still holding a 26-point lead as we approach the halfway point of the third quarter.
Strong able to cut it to an even 25, 53-28. So Milford now right at their game average in terms of points scored with still 4 minutes and change to go in the third quarter. Tomorrow getting a couple of passes into the corner, was not able to get a good enough look. Now Kelly has the ball go off his hands and Fitzhenry takes over. Feed it up ahead to Strong, and a pass rifled in, and Caden Kelly taking that one off the right eye, and he's a little slow to get back up the court the other way.
Way to use your head. At least they got the ball back, looking for an opportunity to score points. Only 4 points so far. Kind of surprising, consisting that they scored 49 in the first half. Starting out a little slow, but that could definitely change.
Here's Tomorrow. Keeps forcing his way in, and he ends up taking the foul. Caden Kelly now with a moment to try to recover, showing good toughness staying in there after taking a hard pass, again, right off the eye.
Sutherland and Perez, scorer's table. Ready to check in after his free throw.
Looks like Danny Corsini might be crouched there as well. Indeed, all three will check into the game.
Kelly White and DeMarco. Gonna see Corsini hiding behind.
Good to give Caden Kelly a chance to catch his breath here.
Doing everything he can so far, and it's paying off. Quick substitution gives him a chance to recover his breath and the ability to play like he did in the first half once he comes back onto the floor.
So Colby Pyers right now the only starter out there on the floor as Lester High comes down with the shot. 54-31 now the score. Corsini, the ball handler, gets it to Pyers, out now to Nickerson. Nickerson gets in trouble, dishes it back to Tomorrow. Tomorrow tries to take it to the hoop, but gets stripped of the ball. Marquette now an opportunity perhaps to have the size advantage out on the floor with Kelly and Fraioli both out of the game. Now driving inside, that ball stripped. Lorquette, a couple of hacks at it, eventually able to tip it in.
Good offensive rebound by Lorquette.
It's just his first points of the third quarter. As Milford now turns it over.
Offensive foul called on Perez, and the starter's getting ready to check back in. Receiver not liking what he sees on the floor, and he's gonna make a quick adjustment.
And the lead down to 21. There's a 30-point lead entering into this third quarter. The bounce pass from Lester High deflected by Saylor out of play.
Milford, who was averaging 20 points a quarter so far, only have 5 so far. And it's definitely starting to show that Sharon, doing what they can, has a chance to put it under 20 points.
Marquette back outside, shot clock down to 5. And a late whistle after the miss. Marquette a little slow to get up now, grimacing. Definitely a different feel in the gym here in this third quarter than during the first half. The fans have quieted down with the big lead, and maybe that's played into Milford taking their foot off the gas pedal just a little bit.
Momentum switch. Sharon's come out with a little bit more energy.
Marquette goes 1 for 2 that time from the line. So it's an even 20-point lead now. Javon Montero back into the game on the Sharon side as Fraioli now Good hesitation, finds Kelly with the pass. Kelly couldn't hang on, now dives for the ball, and the jump ball is called for as Kelly and Montero both went for it.
Very beautiful athletic play by Caden to stick with it and dive on the floor.
.152 to go. Saylor now guarded closely by Montero. Here's White again on that move to the basket. This time, pass not quite where White thought it would be.
Still taking advantage of that backdoor cut, able to get the foul at least.
Saylor eventually finds a pass partner in White, and White will now go to the line.
Strong picking up the foul right there.
Brendan White with 14 points. Milford's scoring leader having another strong performance.
Team's leading scorer, and he's definitely shown why.
Came in as the number 12 scorer in the Hockomock League, averaging 13.8 points per game. Good on a pair of free throws.
Caden also scoring over double digits, 10.4. And he's definitely shown that he can score too.
Good play. Give and go ends up in the hands of Lorquette, who finishes. 56-36, it stays a 20-point game. Saylor to the corner. Shot no good for Pyers. Rebound goes to Lester High of Sharon. They try to play a little transition ball, and now Lorquette pulls up. Fitzhenry now up high against White. White able to get around a screen. Fitzhenry, the fadeaway shot, no good. Lorquette with the offensive rebound. Milford called for the foul.
Saylor seemed to get up okay. Took a hard hit from Lorquette off the foul from Kelly. And it's good to see that he went unscathed without any injuries.
So with 1:05 to go, an opportunity again at the line for Lorquette to dip this deficit under 20 points.
And he's starting to show himself in the second half. Got himself to the free throw line a couple times and has had a couple of good inside baskets.
6 points in all in this third quarter with one more free throw to go. And he converts both attempts. 56-38. Down to the final minute of the third quarter. White out to Pyers, thought about the three, now drives inside. Could not elevate the shot over a couple of defenders, but this ball will stay with the Scarlet Hawks.
Tomorrow checking in for Perez.
It's Kelly, the turnaround. He takes contact. Malik Lorquette called for the foul.
Caden having a chance to put Milford back up by 20.
High Fitzhenry and Aiden Kane all lurking at the scorer's table. They'll come back in now.
Sharon trying to do whatever they can to chip away at the lead.
And with 2 successful free throws, Caden Kelly is up to 13 points. And Milford, pressure defense in the backcourt, nearly had the steal. A couple of times nearly getting the turnover, but Sharon able to survive. The 3-point shot rims out. Tomorrow able to tip it to White. 34 seconds to go in the quarter. Sutherland the pass to Saylor. Saylor gives up the look from 3-point range, takes the higher percentage shot and makes it.
And that's got to be one of his favorite moves. A nice little floater, able to dodge all the defenders going up to try to block it and it just softly, gently goes straight through the net.
Milford now up to an even 60 points. White contesting that inbounds pass, now getting locked up. They will call for the jump ball. It will stay with Sharon, the possession arrow going the Eagles' way, as now all of a sudden Brendan Saylor starts to flex that right knee. Looks to be all right as Sharon again will inbound. They get it in cleanly to Fitzhenry. Quick catch and shoot, and that's a three-pointer for Jimmy Fitzhenry. His second of the quarter. Final 5 seconds now. Will Milford get one more shot away? Here's Tomorrow off balance and off the side of the rim, and that is how the third quarter comes to an end. So Sharon able to do some work here, Neelan, to narrow the deficit just a bit, but still 19 points. They're down heading into the fourth quarter.
Yeah, I definitely think even though you're up by 19, you got to go think you can't give up. You got to be consistent through all 4 quarters, and you don't want to let your guard down. And it's definitely to lose a quarter by 11. If you're not up by 30, you're kind of digging yourself a hole. And they're starting to show that maybe they need to stick to their starters a little more. Bench players have kind of started to slow down, and they're just trying to find their rhythm again. Only able to score 11 points in the quarter, and to score 49 and a half and 11 and a quarter, you kind of start to see that energy hasn't really picked up yet.
So we'll see if they can find a second wind here in the fourth quarter, as Sharon was able to outscore Milford in that third quarter 22-11 to bring the deficit down to 19.
Definitely one of the brighter sides of the third quarter is the emergence of Brendan Saylor. I definitely think that with the injury at Cosquet, some people were thinking that their guard play would be a little bit down, but Saylor has definitely shown himself. And Shane Cosquet being a 4-year varsity player, he's a captain, able to score, he can shoot, he can take it in. Saylor's trying to take over that role. He's got a decent inside game, he can shoot if he needs to, and he's proved himself worthy.
It's not an easy task having to replace your starting point guard on the fly, especially a player with as much experience as Shane Cosquet. But it looks like Milford starting to figure it out. They get the early points from Sutherland, now off the steal. Sutherland will have another chance under the basket. Can't convert this time after the Milford turnover. Now Fitzhenry thought about pulling up for 3. Instead, it's Kaufman who'll take it from outside, and he makes it.
Trying to use the three-pointer as much as they can right now.
Kaufman, after leading Sharon offensively through the first half, was held without a basket in the third quarter. Here's Tomorrow, able to get around one defender, but couldn't finish at the rim.
DeMarco and Corsini lining up at the scorer's table, getting ready to check in. It's
Kaufman trying to get around White. White standing his ground now. They loop the pass back out to Lorquette, loses the handle just briefly. Shot clock down to 8 as Lester High now makes the move, gets around Zach Tomorrow, but could not finish, and Caden Kelly gets the defensive board.
I seeming to be a little bit frustrated with that take, but a beautiful move.
Steve Sutherland down low gets shot attempt blocked. Now into the corner, and Fitzhenry drains it. Another 3-ball. Kaufman along with Fitzhenry both coming through with 3-pointers early on in this fourth quarter, and that forces a timeout as things have slowly started going in Sharon's favor. The lead is still comfortable for now for Milford, but with 6 minutes and 20 seconds left in this game, Milford needs to try to find a way again to get that second wind to carry this across the finish line.
Yeah, that long-range three-point ball has become a hot spot. Fitzhenry and Kaufman back-to-back threes, able to chip down to 15 points. And if I'm Milford, maybe scoring might not be the top priority. It's stopping the three-point ball and stopping Sharon scoring in general.
And the outside shooting was really dreadful for Sharon through that first half, and especially taking some wild chances from beyond the arc towards the back stretch of that second quarter to try to make up what was a growing deficit. But now all of a sudden those shots are starting to fall, and it's really changed the dynamic of the second half. And from a 30-point lead at halftime, that lead now has officially been cut in half. Still 6 minutes and 20 seconds to go. A lot of subs on the floor right now for Milford, along with Caden Kelly. Kelly now trying to muscle his way inside, couldn't get the finger roll. Rebound pulled down by Max Tarlin. Now it's high, drives in. Shot and the chance for a three-point play for the senior guard, Lester High.
And there's still a lot of time on the clock. Sharon's starting to pose a threat. Have a chance to cut down the lead to 12. Another basket. Now you're starting to look into a single-digit lead.
You almost wonder at this point if having such a big lead at the half was a detriment a little bit to Milford, causing them to come in with maybe a lack of focus into the second half, feeling like they had the game well in hand, and now all of a sudden this is a basketball game.
And that's a consistent thing, with not even just with Milford, just with a lot of teams. Such a large lead can just create the feeling that you already got it in hand. And if you got the right team or a right opponent, they could come out with a whole different momentum swing.
Brendan White able to save that with the pass to Kelly. Now here's Corsini. And you can see Caden right now communicating to his teammates, everybody slow down. You can read the lips of the senior captain, and this team is really starting to feel the pressure. And now all of a sudden you see Fraioli and White back out onto the floor.
And I don't think Kelly's wrong. Slowing the tempo is just what they need, because Sharon has come out very hot in this fourth quarter.
Big defensive rebound for Kelly. Now here's Fraioli. He's able to get up and over Lorquette and gets the basket.
Lorquette had that feeling that he wanted to send that all the way to the other side of the court.
And quick turnover for Milford, and the lay-in for Saylor. And now all of a sudden Milford with back-to-back buckets for what feels like the first time in quite a while. Up to 66 points now as the shot rims out for Sharon. Kaufman able to collect the rebound, but he has his shot rejected.
This is exactly what Milford needs.
Starting to feel the intensity starting to ratchet back up again on the floor. It worked out so well for Milford, playing with that high energy level in the first half.
Coughlin's going to pick up a foul. And we see a quick substitution.
Aiden Kane will check in now for Alex Kaufman. Saylor into White, and White gets fouled.
And this is one of the scary things that White's got to his game, is he's not afraid to take contact. He's a moving train, able to create space for himself, and if there's someone in his way, he's not afraid to take him down. And as you can see right there, it works perfectly, and he'll get to the free throw line with 2 shots to go, making the first.
Brendan White transitioning so well from that energy presence off the bench as a sophomore last year to not only serving as a starter this season, but has become the scoring leader and has looked comfortable in the role ever since the start of the season. Exceeding a lot of expectations out of the gate.
And he has improved gratefully.
Here's Lorquette, and he's able to plow his way through traffic, but the shot not going his way. Milford with the rebound, and they leisurely take the ball up the floor as we tick down to the final 4 minutes of this fourth quarter. Kelly gets the bounce pass out to White. White guarded closely by Montero. And Milford will call the timeout. They take it with 3 minutes and 57 seconds to go. We will take the timeout as well. 68-49, the Hawks lead the Sharon Eagles here on coverage of Milford High School boys basketball on Milford TV. (68-49). The lead back up to 19 now for Milford. Right now in a virtual tie for third place in the Davenport Division standings with North Attleboro, the team that Milford beat in their previous game. Milford gets the bounce pass in to White, who's again blanketed by Javon Montero. Time winding down on the shot clock, just 4 seconds left. Someone has to put up the shot. DeMarco clears himself, releases the shot off the side of the rim, and the rebound goes to Aiden Kane of Sharon. 3:35 to play. Marquette going up for the shot. Gets fouled by Kelly. Marquette has made 50% of his shots from the line so far tonight.
Missing his first one right there. Sutherland coming in for Kelly. Kelly having a magnificent game tonight. He's been offensively rebounded, defensively rebounding. He's got a lot. Got to the line a few times. A couple three-point plays.
Nifty move for Milford, getting the ball quickly ahead to Andrew Fraioli, who does the rest.
And Milford able to come back up to a 21-point lead as we reach the 3-minute mark.
Andrew Fraioli getting himself into double figures on the score sheet. Marquette able to pull down the rebound, but Sharon ends up going scoreless on that trip up the floor. Long pass ahead to White. The pass was a little too far out in front of the junior. He tried to recover, could not finish.
Able to make the best out of the situation, get a late foul call, and he's going to have a chance to put two in the rim.
Clock frozen at 3:01 to go as Milford now with an even 70 points, 9 points shy of that single game high so far on the season. And these have been some large point totals Sharon has allowed now in their last two games. They allowed 91 points in a 91-65 loss to the Stoughton Black Knights in their previous game back on January 16th. Allowing 70-plus points here to Milford tonight. We'll see what that final total ends up being with still 3 minutes left to go.
And that opponent point per game average for Sharon is just going to keep skyrocketing if they're going to continue to do what they're doing. Still haven't won a game in their conference yet.
It's one win overall on the season. You have to imagine there's a lot of frustration setting in. Fitzhenry, no good on the shot.
Caden Kelly getting ready to check back in. Now Milford getting their first win streak since December 15th through 17th.
Hoping for that second consecutive victory and 2 wins within the division. Certainly something that this team has been hoping for. Saylor able to get back defensively, but called for the foul.
2 wins in a row. Now you're starting to think in the Milford mind process that you want to go for 3. Just keep going, keep trying to push.
And that next game for Milford will be against the Hopedale Blue Raiders. And a scheduling note for anyone who might be planning to come out to that game, which was originally scheduled for Sunday. It has been moved. Scheduling conflict that resulted in that game getting pushed up to Saturday. So that game will actually be tomorrow. So that leads to back-to-backs here for Milford at home. They'll play Hopedale here tomorrow night with a 6:30 start. So an opportunity in less than 24 hours to tack on another win if they are able to sweep the season series against Hopedale, dropping that 79-point total on the Blue Raiders on the road earlier this year.
And if you're going to pull off a massive win like they have tonight, they're going to have high mindset. And And I definitely think that they'll come in tomorrow playing like they did in the first half.
It's Henry an off-balance shot. Marquette hangs in there for the rebound, and now the whistle stops the clock with 2 minutes and 1 second to go. Quick look over in the Kelly Rex division. It is Franklin and Mansfield right now, a two-horse race atop the large school division. A 9-1 record for the Panthers, a 9-2 record for the Hornets. Attleboro with a 7-3 record, Taunton at 7-4, and then King Philip at 2-7 with Oliver Ames at 4-6. So 4 teams with some pretty strong records over on the Kelly Rex side. Marquette making his free throws.
Nickerson getting his first time into the fourth quarter. Cassini steps back in.
Looking for another 3, but instead Corsini called for the travel. Inside the final 2 minutes. Marquette can't find the rim. Kelly with another defensive rebound, another double-double night for Caden Kelly. Just another night at the office, and Kelly now will try his luck from three-point range. That's the second outside shot we've seen Kelly attempt in this game. 0 for 2 from long range.
You don't see that often from him. Not only once, but twice.
Corsini hesitates, ends up getting the 2-point shot.
And they're going to try to find a way to get Cam Falcon into the game.
Not much time left, approaching a minute to go. Deep 3 released by Aiden Kane. Kane a starter in this game, and that's just his first points. Kelly against Lorquette on the perimeter. Now Corsini, tough pass to Kelly, almost picked off by Lorquette, but Milford holds on to it. Into the corner now for Nickerson.
Pura is getting his second 3 of the night.
Correction, Colby Pyers on the shot, obscured by the cheerleading squad there, but Colby knocks down the 3. And so Milford now up to 77 points with 40.4 seconds to go, just 2 points shy of tying their single game high so far on the season. We'll see if they can do it when we come back for the conclusion of this boys basketball game right after this on Milford TV. We return out of the timeout to see the final 40 seconds unfold in this varsity basketball showdown between Milford and Sharon. It's been big leads for Milford all night long. As we see another 3 released by Aiden Kane, trying to make up for lost time. A late 6 points in this game. And now with 20 seconds to go, Milford gets the ball in the hands of Falcon, now out to Corsini.
Lost a shot clock, now it's just dribble, avoid turnovers, and wait till the clock runs out.
See if Milford attempts one final shot in this game. 5 seconds to go. Instead, just content to pass around the perimeter. Pyers will hold on to it, and that is that, 77-59. So in the end, Milford falls just 2 points shy of tying that single game high mark, but overall, this was a fantastic offensive performance from start to finish, Nealon.
Oh, it has been, and they definitely stepped it up in the fourth quarter.
And so 77-59, that final score. Milford improves now overall on the season to 5-4. They get their Hockomock League record up to 500 at 4-4. And for the Sharon Eagles, the struggles continue now. Double-digit losses overall on the season, 1-10 now, the mark for the Sharon Eagles. So again, just a very quick rest overnight for the Scarlet Hawks. They'll be right back in the home gym tomorrow night with a non-conference matchup with Hopedale. And then next week it will be matchups against Oliver Ames and then Attleboro here at home on Friday night. That is the next time we will see this boys team in action. Until then, a big thank you to our Milford TV crew on hand for the game tonight, our director Rob O'Keefe, our camera operators Patrick Garapi and Malcolm Zale, and for Nealon Reisman, I am Tim Coette. That final score, one final time, Milford defeats Sharon by a final score of 77-59. This has been a presentation of Milford High School Athletics here on Milford TV. So long, everybody.